What is probably different is that, I mean, it's not full of political stuff on the outside. I mean, it's not like I only once step out of the zone and go to 2019
Right.
because I was filming the anti-CA movement, and also because it was in Azad, in August Kranti Maidan, which is
Right.
exactly where the Declaration of Independence first began. So
Right.
it was a come back to that place. I sort of foregrounded that my uncles went to prison against the British, which is of course more than any. None of the people from the right wing went to jail against the British. They were collaborators with the British. So they were. I think only one guy in their whole pantheon went to jail was Savarkar, and Savarkar wrote 5 mercy petitions to get out. And after he got out, he never spoke against the British even once. He only attacked Muslims, and he plotted to kill Gandhi. All of these, the repression that's going on in the country, somebody is filming it on their phones. So we can gather that, it's like you don't have to physically be at every place, you can't be. But people have their phones, they can shoot, and if we have access to that footage, very often it comes on YouTube pretty fast. So everything gets recorded. So that reminds me of the poem कि हम सब याद रखेंगे. So सब याद रखा जा रहा है phone पे.
I don't know what to ask. It's such an intense experience watching this on the big screen. Uh, do you want to say something in the beginning? Then, I was thinking, this is perhaps the only film so far you've made where you have filmed yourself so extensively. And I was remembering, like I was telling Ramani's film Hindustan Hamara, where you were very reluctant to be filmed. And what happened? This we haven't seen from you before. This format of personal stories. So, would you like to just take us through this?
See, the one other film in which I spoke in the first person and told a little bit of, I talked about my uncles being arrested, and that was War and Peace. And that was because War and Peace, while I was making it, I knew that it's going to be attacked for being anti-national. Because I was making a film against nuclear weapons when everyone was celebrating nuclear, not everyone, but in India and Pakistan, people were celebrating. So to avoid being called an anti-national right away, I sort of foregrounded that my uncles went to prison against the British, which is of course more than any. None of the people from the right wing went to jail against the British. They were collaborators with the British. So they were. I think only one guy in their whole pantheon went to jail was Savarkar, and Savarkar wrote 5 mercy petitions to get out. And after he got out, he never spoke against the British even once. He only attacked Muslims, and he plotted to kill Gandhi. So that was his contribution, and maybe that is why the British let him out of jail, because there was some kind of understanding. But yeah, so apart from that film and that film, I don't appear. Actually, there's one shot of me in Waves of Revolution, the very first film, because I was just on a tanga while
Also,
passing
you
by,
appear
doing an
very
interview.
briefly in Reason in that scene.
In
right?
Reason, again, so I've been in, because then sometimes we have 2 cameras. So Seema's shooting, then I get into the camera, either accidentally or in that case, it was planned in the sense that those guys didn't know that we had 2 cameras. So, and that they were, while they were threatening me, they were also on record doing it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So this film, I'm in it only because I have to be, because I'm telling my parents' story and my uncle's story. So it was the context.
You mentioned this line struck me very much. I'm reading out. You said memories of the past have become more precious than mere personal nostalgia.
Yeah.
So you basically use your memories to not just tell the story of your parents and your family, but also a history of India over the last maybe 75 years, 100 years.
Yeah, a history of those who fought for independence. I mean, I guess I'm talking about my family, there's only one small section who fought. There were many others. And these are similar stories. If you talk to people of that generation, you will get similar stories.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people
And,
will
and
have.
it's because I should have recorded my uncles, the two eldest uncles who were the most active, but one passed away when I was 19 and I was not yet making films, and one passed away when I was 32, Ajit Kaka, and by that time I'd already made Ram Ke Ram and everything, but he never wanted to talk about freedom struggle, because by this time he had turned inwards and thought that, more than politics, we have to examine who we are.
Right. I really want you to talk about the editing of this film because I don't know, this editing is so lyrical. I don't know, it's quite different from, I don't know, from your earlier work, I feel. Can you walk us, because you must have been working with a lot of footage.
Yeah, but I'm always working with a lot of footage. But since the era of video and digital, I mean, in the days when I filmed on 16 millimeter, then there was not a lot of footage. It was too expensive. So, but when digital began, I started shooting a lot, and then so that's the same story. I don't think the editing is radically different from other films, but what is probably different is that this film is, it's not full of political stuff on the outside. It's not like I only once step out of the zone and go to 2019
Right.
because I was filming the anti-CA movement, and also because it was in Azad, in August Kranti Maidan, which is exactly where the Declaration of Independence first began. So it was a come back to that place.
Right. Yeah. So tell us
Then
about.
also, I was not actually prepared to film. I just had my phone with me, and so I shot that rally with my phone.
So you have used a lot of formats here, right? The footage is
Yeah.
from, like, how many formats must have gone in?
There was my mother shot with some primitive VHS. One scene of my uncle when he was feeding the cat. But the rest, there's a little bit of VHS, but there's a lot. The bulk of it is mini DV, and then what I shot later was on HD. So the film goes from widescreen to little narrow.
Right. And you have used a lot of archival footage, like the Shantiniketan footages, then of course the 1942 movement. So, like, can you tell us about where you got it from?
Well, everyone gets it from Films Division when it used to exist. I don't know now, is it easy to get anything from Films Division, but maybe it is. They have an archive because they've recorded a lot of things, and there's the Gandhi Foundation, which has the Gandhi material. There's actually one long film made by put together by Vittal Bhai Javeri, which was a 6-hour film. In the original version. Now what they sell on the DVDs is a much shorter version. But so that footage is there. And there's probably a lot of good footage abroad, but I couldn't afford to buy that.
Right. And when you say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, in your film you're constantly referring to some sort of internationalism. You keep referring to it, something that's lost perhaps, I mean, in a way. What do you think of that? Like, so you refer to the Vietnam War and your mother's friend, and then you refer to Trotsky and everything else.
Yeah, these are not planned things. These are, Gwyn was visiting my mother at the time when she was even a little earlier, but then again when my mother passed away, she was happy. Both Ira auntie and Gwyn Hansen were actually there. So they're in the footage, and even the interview that I did with Ira auntie was after my mother had passed, because she was there and then she came back for the anniversary 1 year later.
Seema, you've been behind so many of Anand's films, but we have never heard you speak too much about. Please, can you share? Because you've been filming and you've been recording sound and you've been basically, partnering with him. but we never get to hear you.
Actually, I was fairly not very happy about this film being made because I mean, to be very honest, it's not like till the film really starts coming together, you know what it's going to be. And so obviously this kind of, awkwardness about the private going public. Right. And while shooting also, it was completely by chance because it was fun shooting. At the same time, I must confess, I wanted to party or take care of things or play cards, for example. So as far as this particular film, except for the interviews with the uncles and family friends, that is something that I could relate with in terms of the work we had done so far. But obviously, I'm happy now that it's all together.
Right. Let's open it up to the audience and let's have questions.
She didn't believe that this should be shown to the public. I said, yes, it should be shown because we were just, it was a home movie. It was only for our family.
Oh, you thought you were making it for yourself?
No, we were making not in this structure, but all the footage that we gathered over many years and shot was just for fun to record for ourselves. Yeah.
Because I remember last time...
Because I was actually making I made War and Peace, which took 4 years, completed in 2002. This footage had already started to be gathered, but I made War and Peace and then Jai Bhim Comrade, which took 14 years, and then Reason, which took another 3.5 years. So those were the main films I was working on. This was just a
happening
background
parallelly.
Home movie.
Okay, yeah. Because last time we met, you said that I am now arranging all my footage, and we never knew that this was coming, so it was quite surprising. Let's open it up to the public, to the audience.
So 11 years back, I was in California. That day was a Saraswati Puja festival we had in the neighboring. And I came back to my room late in the evening. And my roommate supposed to go out for a journey with one of his friends, who was eventually a Pakistani. And my roommate actually requested me to go with them. And I was very tired and I refused him. But that time his friend, who was a Pakistani citizen, he came to me and requested me to come with them. And I found something was there in his approach. So I instantly agreed and went out 3-day outing with the guy who is a Pakistani citizen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. And my actually that time it was 11 years back, and we used to see all those films in the 15th August and so and so. So that we are forced to believe that we didn't get the independence from the British, but from the Pakistan, as it is being shown to us. So I also had some blockage in my mind that time. But at every night, I learned a little thing, that whatever blockage we have relating to those misconceptions, one little piece of love can wipe out all those blockages in a moment.
Yeah. Thank you. That's absolutely true.
So, sir, I've seen you have been filming your whole life, right? Not only yours, but at the same time, death has come in that film cases for some parts, right? So, when you're filming death, right, there, let's say for an example for your moms, right, there is Anand Patwardhan, the son, as well as Anand Patwardhan, the filmmaker. So when these two personas actually intermingle, right, at times of grief, at times of happiness, I think that intermingling is very organic and it doesn't cause any problems. But when you're intermingling in cases of grief, right, how do you prepare? Where the artist take place his own place and tells the son to step back and let me to film it. So how do you went through this process, if you can just...
I have the camera in my hand, and at that moment, filming my parents when they were passing away was, in a way, therapeutic for me, because it gave me a distance from
the grief.
The grief been overpowering, but I was busy with a technical thing. I was filming. So it was a way of a little
Yes.
bit of distance from that.
And one more question is, I think, I'm not going much into technicalities because I'm also not aware, but I think you've only used one free shot in the whole. You're actually when your father just is on the brink of passing away. So not using
What shot?
so like a free shot, like the frame freezes.
Oh, freeze. No,
Yeah.
that's even not a freeze.
Okay, but the frame
There-
freezes,
there-
right?
there-
Only for a
no,
moment.
Nothing. If you look at the curtains, they're moving.
No, no, but at just one point.
There's one at
yeah,
the
yeah,
very
right.
end when she was photographing. My father wanted to be. So that's something we didn't even understand why he wanted to. Normally, he would never call us to film him, but he had some premonition
Okay, like
to get photographed with me at that moment. It was his way of saying bye, maybe, which I thought of later.
Okay, and I think I'll just want to make one comment, right? The way you talk about death, right? You talk about omni-absence. That's really something that I learned new. Thanks for that.
Thank you. So that was a poem that I'd written when I was 19 when my uncle passed away. So I just used that same poem later.
Do you think enough political documentaries are being made currently in India, and what do you think is the future of political documentary in this country?
It has a wonderful future because there's so much material. And now people can shoot. I mean, as they're doing. I mean, all of these, the repression that's going on in the country, somebody is filming it on their phones. So we can gather that. You know, it's like you don't have to physically be at every place. You can't be, but people have their phones. They can shoot, and if we have access to that footage, very often it comes on YouTube pretty fast. So everything gets recorded. So that reminds me of the poem कि हम सब याद रखेंगे. So सब याद रखा जा रहा है phone पे.
I am 75,
Yeah,
so I know what memories mean,
yeah,
how memories mingle with rather emotions of everybody present here who watch the film. Somehow or the other, the whole thing transmutes into something universal, which speaks to all of us. But that is the aim of all great films. But these apart, I have two questions. One is, you have used very nicely or integrated very nicely, that was a lesson to us. There are some footages, old Doordarshan footages. And I myself have seen some of them. So I know whose voice it was and how it was being played out at that time.
it's not Doordarshan footage. As I said, it's that one film which Doordarshan has used many times.
Many
But it's
times.
they did not make it.
So
They don't have the brains to make the film.
so that's no. I see. I thought that it was from documentaries shot at that time.
Yeah.
But
In fact, Vithalbhai Jhaveri collected footage.
Exactly.
So even my grandfather had filmed because he had a 16mm camera, he had a 8mm camera, and he donated to Vithalbhai Jhaveri, as many did. So that is footage shot from
Exactly.
all over the country that he
Exactly.
collected.
Thank you so much. I was just interpreting that it was all. It's not that.
Yeah.
But the point is, second point is, I found that there has been a very telling use, or rather poignant use of Indian classical music. And
That is thanks to my father, who loved classical music. I don't know if Ranjani is here or not, but okay, lovely. So please stand up. Why don't you come on stage? Ranjani sang. Come. So she's also in the film, and she's
that was
at Shantiniketan, and she's a great musician in her own right. I think she had a concert yesterday. Yeah.
I loved when on the
Come.
boat.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So that was the snippet of Rabindra Sangeet that Mrs. Chowdhury sang on the
Yes.
boat.
Yes.
That was something which every Bengali will love, and absolutely which every Bengali will relate to in a profounder sense of the term, not simply as a strain caught in a film or caught in a strip of an event, but it was something, the entire song tells something that so nicely matches with the tone of the film. And that particular scene, I will remember that scene forever, because possibly that was the scene when the entire film reaches a kind of reaches a kind of effect that reaches everybody and every human being as such.
So that's
Thank you very much.
that's my mother was a Sindhi, married to a Maharashtrian, and she was culturally a Bengali because she
That
was
is true.
educated in Shantiniketan. She spoke Bengali better than she spoke Sindhi.
So that is one of the wonderful things, because I think most of the Bengalis here will be very, very happy or very, very enlightened or educated to have that kind of snippets which shows us the hard days in Shantiniketan, how Shantiniketan was in her time, and how potteries came into the picture, and how she was, and especially the way you presented the people. For example, her friends and her tutors and all the studios and rather all these things. That was something marvelous. And I myself have learned a lot about Shantiniketan, which I didn't know earlier. And thank you for, on our part also, for that part of the film. And that part of the film was simply a revelation, not only about the Anand Pattabardhan we know of, but also his mother, his father, who were something, who taught us something, who gave us an India that we have ever lost. Thank you very much.
We saw camera is traveling very interpersonal spaces. That spaces are very related to interpersonal memories. And in this film we saw camera is also traveling in the spaces of Indian history. They are very, they are not very interpersonal. How you manage two things. One is very interpersonal space. It is full of your memory and your agony. And one space is very open space. That is the depiction of history. How you manage these two things.
So as I said, when I started out filming, we were, and Seema was also filming, and there are a few shots by other people. This was home footage, just filming at home. So without a thought of making a film. But then once I decided to make a film, then I looked for the archival footage that would match what people were talking about. And, then I added the sequence in 2019 and those kind of things to tell the story, to complete the fill in the blanks that these stories left. So it was a combination. It was started out as a personal film. It became a kind of a oral history, not just of my family, but of a section of the freedom struggle.
वैसे तो बड़ी मार्मिक थी कि मैं खुद अपने पिता को याद कर रहा था फिल्म देखते हुए, बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा था देखना, लेकिन एक मैं भूल गया मैं क्या, मतलब परेशान था मैं देखते हुए अभी।
हाँ?
तो दो चीजें
कोई बात नहीं,
जी
बाद में बात कर लेंगे।
तो लेकिन एक हाँ बाद में पकड़ लेंगे, लेकिन एक बात मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी इसमें, शायद आपने, मतलब एक तो बड़ा भयानक तो ये था कि इतने बुजुर्ग लोग जो हैं वो तो इतने सचेत हैं सेकुलरिज्म को लेके, बच्चे जो थे छोटे बच्चे उनको वो आपने बड़ा फिल्माया, बड़ा मुश्किल था। एक बात मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि जो घरेलू संबंध होते हैं वो बड़े जटिल होते हैं, और आप, मुझे लग रहा है इस तरह से आपको ऐसे माँ बाप मिले, मतलब जैसे आपको उनसे विरासत में ये सेकुलरिज्म मिला, क्या आपने भी उनको कुछ बदला?
मैंने उनको बदला क्या? नहीं, मुझे नहीं लगता बहुत ज्यादा नहीं
जी,
क्योंकि ऑलरेडी मेरे से ज्यादा पहुंचे हुए
जी, ये बहुत मुश्किल नहीं, मैंने इसलिए कह रहा कि ये बहुत मुश्किल चीज़ है, क्योंकि जो पुराने लोग भी हैं, जैसे जेपी आए फिल्म में, विनोबा आए, उनके सब फॉलोवर्स घालमेल वाले थे, बहुत मुश्किल थी उस समय भी, ये इसलिए मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी। और दूसरा मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपने ये बहुत मुश्किल है जो आपने वो सुर्ख का प्रिविलेज दिखाया ना उसमें, बहुत वो जो शाहिर कहते हैं ना कि मैं उन अजदाद का बेटा हूँ, तो वो आपने जो दिखाया शुरू में, उसको फिर आपने बताया भी बहुत अच्छी तरह, एकदम बहुत।
हाँ, क्योंकि
जी,
the question, I don't know
Great
if
thing.
People are following everything, but he's talking about that I foreground the privilege
they
caste that I came
great
from.
thing.
But because
जी
I mean, without that you don't understand how did suddenly this, you know, in Marxist terminology,
Yes.
this was the national bourgeoisie.
Yes.
What became the national bourgeoisie, in the sense that there was a comprador bourgeoisie that was collaborating with the British and with imperialism. But there was also a national bourgeoisie that was fighting the British. So, in a sense, they probably represent that class.
और
and
एक
caste. Yeah.
एक आपने वो भी, आप अकेले ही हैं शायद, वरना आप आराम से उससे बच सकते थे. आपने उसको पुरानी चीज थी, चूंकि आप बदल ना भी बदलते, लेकिन आपने ब्रैकेट में दलित किया हरिजन को. हरिजन करते हो दलित किया, ये भी शायद आपने फर्स्ट टाइम आप उससे बच भी सकते थे, क्योंकि वो पुरानी चीज थी आर्काइव. थैंक यू.
हाँ, क्योंकि ये जो पॉलिटिकली करेक्ट टर्मिनोलॉजी है वो बदलती रहती है ना. अमेरिका में भी पहले निग्रो कहा करते थे, अब निग्रो नहीं, निग्रो कहना भी गलत हो गया है. फिर ब्लैक कहने लगे, फिर ब्लैक भी गलत हो गया, फिर अफ्रो अमेरिकन कहने लगे. तो ये थ्रू टाइम बदलता रहता है. पर हरिजन से दलित हो गया. अभी कोई, मेरी माँ कहती है भंगी कॉलोनी में मिल रहे थे. भंगी कहना भी मना है एक्चुअली अब, मगर उन दिनों में वो कॉलोनी का नाम ही था भंगी कॉलोनी.
So we've all seen Anand Patwardhan's film, but today we got the opportunity to see his legacy, where he comes from, and that's a real pleasure to all of us. And I just wanted to say that we liked your father. I mean, just hats off to him, his sense of humor, first of all, and his taste in music. And I think you owe a great deal from him. And thank you for making such a wonderful movie and sharing with all of us here. And I would also briefly like to take the opportunity to thank Kosturi and Doipayan. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a vote of thanks, but just from on behalf of the audience, we would like to thank them for continuing this work.
I would really like to say that it is not just the two of us, not at all. I mean, this diminishes the work of our comrades we are 40 of us, and we are all here working more than me, and many people are working more than me. So let us never, diminish the work of a collective to individuals. We don't want to be that way. So yeah, I mean, I understand your flavor, but we are a collective. And it doesn't depend on any individual. So yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to also share with you that I've shown the film quite a few times in India now, and the audiences are divided between those who get attracted to my father more and those who are attracted to my mother more. So they're two different characters, but they have different qualities. But my mother was, didn't have an obvious sense of humor, and we actually never thought she had a sense of humor. But when you look at that, when you look at the footage, then you see that she's actually pulling her leg very often.
Yeah, so let us give a big hand to Anand and Seema, and yeah.